Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video and the videos that follow, I want to go over this amortization table in Excel. This was an extra credit activity, and basically a user should be able to interact with this amortization table using only this section over here in the top left corner. So I can put in a loan amount, an interest rate, number of months, I'll put in a starting date, and the base payment will get calculated. I could choose or decide not to put in an extra payment, and everything's going to be updated over here on my amortization table. There's a number of steps involved, a number of if functions being used, so I'd like to tackle this in stages so that we can build it up for ourselves. Okay, so this is my existing sheet, but we're going to kind of start from scratch. So let's see, I will just go ahead and do Control N on Excel to create a new workbook. And let's go ahead and start off with a few basic pieces of information. I'll start up here in cell A1, and I'm going to speed up my my recording so that way you don't have to watch me type all of this. So. Okay, so I now have the labels all set up. Let me go and focus over here on the loan information, and let's start to calculate the basic payment. So I'll just go ahead and plug in some numbers to start. I'll do a $40,000 loan, an interest rate of 4%. Number of months, I'm going to go ahead and do 24 months. The payment start date doesn't affect the payment calculation, but I'll put something in. Let's see, it's December when I'm doing this. I'll go ahead and let's assume we'll put in January 10th, 2019. Okay, so we've got that information in there. Now for the basic payment calculation. I'm going to do an equals PMT function. And there are several arguments that we can put into the payment function. I'm only worried about the first three, not the optional ones. So first I need to plug in the rate. I'm going to click on the cell that contains the annual rate, divide it by 12 to make a monthly rate, comma. I'm going to click on the cell that contains the number of months for my loan, comma. And then I'm going to do a negative version of the loan amount, the debt. Close my parentheses. That'll complete my payment function. And for this loan, 2 years, $40,000 at 4%. It's interesting that it came out exactly. So I'm sure if I had 4.1% interest, let's show a decimal there, we'd start to get some more unusual numbers. Okay, but that's the basic payment. Now, understanding that we've got this information over here, I'd like to start populating the amortization table over on the right. And the first couple rows of information are going to always be the toughest, but I know there's going to be a payment 1 and a payment 2. I'll just go ahead and manually type those in. Now the date for the first payment is going to be equal to the payment start date over here. So when this is all done, the user should never have to edit anything in the big amortization table on the right. They should be able to interact with this amortization table using only the inputs over here on the left for the loan information. Now the beginning balance, that's going to be easy. It's going to be equal to the loan amount. And since we're using cell references, we can change things over here for the inputs, and it'll automatically update the information on the amortization table. Maybe this starts on 2/5/19, and that date will update. Now for the interest, that's going to be equal to, I'll use some parentheses here, it's going to be equal to my annual rate, and I'm going to do this with absolute references. I press my F4 key to make that absolute, divided by 12. That gets my monthly rate, and I'm going to multiply that by the beginning balance. Notice that I'm not multiplying it by the loan amount input on the far left, because that number is going to stay the same, but the beginning balance will reduce over time. So I want my interest to be calculated on the beginning balance for a particular payment row. And I can see for my first payment, the interest is going to be just over $170. Now I know my payment is like $2,100. the interest payment alone will be $170. Now the payment, that's going to be equal to my calculated payment. I'm going to make that absolute as well. Just press my F4 key to convert that to absolute column, absolute row. The extra payment I'm not really worried about right now, but I will go ahead and put in that that's going to be equal to the cell that contains the extra payment. I'll make that absolute. The total payment's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be equal to the regular payment plus the extra payment. Once again, I'm referring to the payment rows. We want these to be based on the row information. Now the principal is simply going to be the amount of the total payment minus the amount that went to interest. So if I ended up paying for this payment $21.73, $170 goes to interest and $2,000 goes to the principal of the loan. The ending balance is going to be equal to the beginning balance minus the principal. And so we can see that my loan reduced just by about $2,000. Now we can exaggerate this impact if my interest rate was really big. Let's say it was 18% interest rate, and I'll use a smaller number here, $10,000. Maybe it's like a credit card. So I've got $10,000 of debt at 18% interest rate. I want to pay it off over 2 years. The monthly payment's going to be like $500. Notice that my interest is going to be $150. So my payment of $500 means that only about $350 are going to go to reduce my debt. There we go. A low interest rate loan of 3% will have smaller interest payments, which means more of the money can go to pay off the debt. Hence, you pay off the debt faster. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there. We got the start of this, and then in the next videos, we'll do a little bit more. Do some formatting, start to work on the second row, and continue this amortization table.